Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
It all ended with the Fiend on the swing. That was what we saw last week. And that's not gonna, we already talked about it, but I'm just gonna say this again since we said it last Monday. Not gonna say that someone called it. However, someone called it. And that someone is about to appear on your screen in 3, 2, 1. And it's not me. So just saying, somebody called it. They are probably on this screen, and it's definitely not me. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of Abby's Window. Obviously, we have your Abby, our Abby, the world's Abby, Jodie Gilly. Jodie, what's up?
Not much.
I got to bring this up since Big Dan just brought it up. What do you think of your Carolina Panthers getting Sam Darnold?
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
You don't feel like they gave up the kitchen sink for him?
No.
Okay. All right, just checking. I've been
he's not the person that was rumored we were getting, but
that's true, but right now the other person is embroiled in a lot of controversy, so
yeah,
I don't know that I would want to take a chance on that right now.
I it's hard being a Panthers fan sometimes. I'm sure people can relate if you're a fan of a team that typically doesn't do all that well. They're kind of, they call them the cardiac cats for a reason. So it doesn't matter what they do. I'm still going to be a Panthers fan for life.
There you go. And
optimism.
There you go. I can only, this is going to sound like a jerk thing to say, but I can, I sympathize with that and empathize with that because until last season, the Buccaneers stunk out loud. So just saying, if you're a fan of a team that hasn't won a lot, one move can change the entire course of your season. So, Panthers fans, which I'm really pissed off about at this point, Panthers fans, I truly believe that you got the person that you need for that position. He's young. He's very talented. He won't be throwing in New York weather. He'll be in the Carolinas, and that'll be beautiful. And I truly believe that he will have a career resurgence because, listen, if you're a Jets fan, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but not really. The Jets are where careers go to die. Jets are atrocious. No, I'm just. It's not that bad. I actually felt like that about Tampa for a while, so don't feel too bad. But
I'm no fair weather fan.
There you go. You got to stick with them.
I love my boys, whether it's thunderstorms or sunshine. They're my boys.
There you go. And I hate the fact that we have to play them twice. I hate that now.
We'll just have a friendly rivalry that day. That's okay.
There you go. And someone said Antonio Brown is going back to the Buccaneers. So basically everyone that they wanted to re-sign on the Buccaneers has re-signed. Even Gronk. Even Gronk has re-signed, so it looks like him and Tommy Boy are going to be together at least one more year. So there's that. Yeah, I know.
I'm
Listen,
sorry, Bray. I know he's your buddy. I just don't like him. I just don't.
the twisting and turning that I have to do as a fan to still root for my Buccaneers and accept the fact that Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady are on my team.
It's really hard.
It's hard. I've rooted against them for so long.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about football.
Yes, Eric. I'm a massive football fan. I do fantasy football every year.
Yes. So,
fun fact, I'm also a soccer fan.
There you go. You mean football.
Yeah.
The real football.
Right.
There you go. There you go. Jason Peace, thank you for your kindness here, saying good evening, good news. I have a Fiend t-shirt coming. Hey, that's
I got
awesome.
2. The pre-ordered ones that they haven't released yet.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. So let me shout out some people and then we'll get started. I'm sorry that we took up some time talking about football, but listen, I feel like it's a good day for Jodie, so I had to bring that up. Kevin Correa, Moda, Randy Sam, Robert Morris, Joe, and that is correct. I'm going to put that on the screen. We are not doing a Raw watch along tonight. Thank you guys for your understanding and patience, but we will be here in full force tomorrow night. So get ready for the Hall of Fame. I think it should be pretty freaking awesome. Big Boy Dally, James Grant, Sean Suslowitz, Cheese Whiz 2, Big Dan, Gus, Chad Schrader, John Cena Gamer 0809, Firefly Revolution, Krista Zuba, Eric Travis, James Chadwick, Wally, what's up? Thank you for coming back, man. Let's see here. Jason Peace, as we said, amazing guy. I aspire to that one day, amazing guy. Brian, Shane Loki. Let's see here. 7 Fiend, Jesse Callan Corner, Jeff Samuel. Good stuff in the chat. Kevin, thank you. Marcus, Joey's Adventures, Dave in Real Life, Dalton. Good crowd in here.
Mm-hmm.
Good crowd in here. Little T, what's up? All right. So last week, in the ongoing saga that is the Bray Wyatt story, I'm trying to come up with a cool name on the fly as like a subtitle for the movie, but let's just say it's awesome. We got Alexa's Playground, and things happen. There was a box there, and all of a sudden she looks over. Oh, and Rusty. Sorry, I cannot forget Rusty. Jeremy Stewart as well. Thank you. So we just happened to get that happening, and Alexa looks over, and there's the Fiend just chilling on the swing. So Jodie, I know you talked about this last week. We talked about this as soon as it happened, right after. Give us your thoughts.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for Funhouse Bray to sit there. Not saying he won't eventually, but this new re-envisioned version of the Fiend is so hot right now. I don't think we see Funhouse Bray for a while. So I loved it. It's really, really nice, even though I know I'm not the only person that said somebody else is going to be sitting in that swing, and it was kind of a duh. As soon as you saw that there were 2 swings, well, somebody's going to end up sitting in that other swing. But it's nice to be right once in a while. We come up with so many theories, and it's, most of the time you're not right. Doesn't mean that, Doesn't mean that it's not fun to do. We're still going to do it no matter what, whether I'm right or wrong, but it is nice to be right once in a while.
It's nice to throw those out there. I feel like I'm being set up right now for failure.
Why?
Chris says, Jeff, ask Jodie if she got Tom's CDs yet, please. I feel
No,
like
they're in the mail. I did get my shipping notification on the 31st of March.
I'm kind of halfway joking with Chris because sometimes he sets me up to get slapped in the face, but no, I know what you're
not setting you up that time. No, they are in the mail along with I ordered the CDs and a couple of tank tops for the summer.
Got you.
One of them says, "Be happy, you butthead," with a picture of a unicorn on it. It's pretty awesome.
I've got to might have to make an investment. Just saying.
Well, I will tell you that, he's one of those rare artists that is still doing CDs now, and he autographs every single one of them, which is why it took so long to ship them.
For those of you that are younger in the chat, a CD is no, I'm just playing. I'll stop. I will stop. All right, so we got the Fiend on the swing, and my goodness, I know I went crazy, but how does that go into what you think we see tonight?
I'm not totally sure what we see tonight. Obviously, I think we have to get some kind of stipulation on what this match is going to be. This is the go-home show. This is the last Raw before WrestleMania. So I think we have to get some kind of stipulation and figure out what exactly this match is going to be. Is it just going to be, a normal brawl on brawl? Or is there going to be any cinematic elements to it? Is Alexa going to get involved? Is she going to get banned from ringside? Is it going to be a no DQ? Is it going to be an Inferno match? I hope not. But, what kind of match are we what can we expect on Sunday? And so I think that's, they're going to fill in that little gap.
I think so too. I think they'll fill in that gap, and we shall see what happens, because I feel like we're going to get something pretty big tonight. Okay. Kevin, thank you for your donation. He says, I feel like part of Abigail/Fiend is in Randy. Alexa said, you burn someone once and you let it go straight to your head. Then Alexa twirled her hands in a circle.
I mean, Bray loves circles. So, everything means something in this storyline. Everything. Even, somebody, I forget who it was. If you were the one that DM'd me, I literally cannot remember who it was, but somebody DM'd me with a theory about the 11/19. And it was SummerSlam. It was the 11th of 2019 was his debut.
So there we see that 11/19
or 19/11, or everything means something when it comes to Bray Wyatt. He, it doesn't matter whether it's him waving on screen or saying something really cryptic, which he loves to do. So,
yeah. Dave in real life saying the match has to involve fire, right?
Not necessarily.
You don't think it could potentially?
It could, because it could. I think it should, because Randy burned down the Wyatt compound, and then he set the Fiend on fire. Tit for tat, Randy. It's time to pay your debt. But so I definitely think fire could be involved. It doesn't mean that it will. It just depends on, is this feud going to end after WrestleMania or not? If it doesn't, and they are setting up for some kind of cinematic match at Money in the Bank, maybe fire's not involved. Maybe fire is involved.
could be interesting. That Amazing Guy has an interesting comment here. Fiend will set his boot on fire and then punt Randy in the head at WrestleMania.
I dig that. I'd be okay with that. I approve. The only rumors I've heard floating around there is that, and it's something we've talked about before. I think we talked about it after Raw last week, that it's going to be a pretty short match.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, that get up in 80-degree, 98% humidity Florida outside, he's going to be roasting his chestnuts. So can't imagine he can wrestle in that for very long without dying of heat stroke.
Yes, his chestnuts will be roasting, hopefully not over an open fire, for his sake. David Hall says this could all backfire. And I've seen this more online recently, but I wanted to ask you about this. David Hall says this could all backfire for the Fiend and Alexa. At WrestleMania, Randy Orton may likely defeat the Fiend and humiliate Alexa Bliss. What do you think about that?
Like I said, it depends on what's going to happen after. Hi, Nicole. It depends what's going to happen after. Like I said, if this continues to Money in the Bank and we get this Firefly cinematic match, then Randy could beat the Fiend. But the reason I don't think that's going to happen is the momentum. You can't bring a character like that back looking like that with revenge being the only thing on his mind, and either have him not win and just have him not win, or it ended, it could end in a DQ if they don't have it a non-DQ or something weird happens, but you can't have Randy win that clean, because this is the time where the Fiend needs to look indestructible.
Completely agree. I think he does need to look.
So he either needs to beat Randy clean, or there needs to be some major shenanigans. Is it Rusty's birthday?
Is it? Someone said we got a birthday in the...
Is it for real Rusty's birthday, or is he messing with me?
I thought his birthday was in May.
Oh, he said it's in November.
Oh, never mind. Somebody's birthday is in May that I'm thinking of. Shout out to Michael. Thank you for joining us. We've got over 70 people in the chat.
That's because you guys are awesome.
That is amazing.
And I would have loved to do Abby's Window Goes Raw tonight, but I hope that Joe feels better, and I know that Jeff, you've got stuff to deal with as well. So we will be back tomorrow, 100%.
Yes, we will,
and we'll have a party.
Yes, we're gonna party like it's 2021, because it is.
Can we party like it's 1999?
We can. We can't.
That was a way better year.
Oh gosh, yes it was. So much better. Oh, simpler times. No mask and all that good stuff back then. Do you think we eventually get some type of build? I know we've had a lot of people say it in the chat, but do you think we get a possible build with Alexa and Rhea? Or is that after Mania? I
think that will be after Mania. This is Rhea's moment to shine. I love Asuka, but she's dropping that belt at WrestleMania, unfortunately. I love Rhea Ripley as well, but this is Rhea's moment to shine.
Yes.
And we'll talk way more about that on our prediction show.
Yeah, Friday for a prediction.
Because there's other people that I think are going to have their moment to shine.
Ooh. That is a long-term tease, because you have to wait all the way
until Friday
to get that. That's what we call a tease in the business, folks. So, Nicole, thank you for joining us. Said, are we excited for WrestleMania? Jodie?
I have 8 bangs in my fridge. Of course I'm excited for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Same. Same.
I'm trying to plan, like most Bray fans out there, trying to plan which shirt you want to wear on night 2 and what shirt you want to wear on night 1. And, I'm trying to remember that I have a job. And
Yeah.
thankfully, I have literally the best boss on the planet that's like, you got this. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine this week.
I got you. Let's see here. Wally saying, I know WrestleMania is not here yet, but why do you think they'll have the draft? I do think there's always shakeups following WrestleMania. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is just me. I wouldn't be surprised if after Mania, if Asuka does drop the belt, if she ends up going to SmackDown and really starting to build some feuds and everything with Rhea. That's just my opinion. But what do you think, Jodie?
I don't know. I think there's definitely after Mania, there's going to be some moving around for sure. I'm not sure. Oh, he said, when will they do the draft?
When will they?
Don't they normally do it after Money in the Bank?
They do. Last year they did one kind of in the summer / fall. So I think that might be what they do. But honestly, I think we're going to be at the point where I don't even think they'll do a draft. I just think you'll start to see people moving and shaking, and that's it. I just my opinion. Okay, I've got to ask this question because see wrestling. Oh, see. Oh boy. Okay, I gotta try.
One of the reasons why he's one of my best friends. So
there you go. So you think we're gonna get the stipulation tonight?
I think so. We have to. Otherwise, I mean, what are we?
When is it gonna happen if it doesn't?
Right.
Happen?
This is the last moment for us to figure out what kind of match this is going to be.
David saying maybe the stipulation is the Fiend and Orton to wrestle near a giant barbecue pit. You could have some grilled snake,
Can't imagine that would smell very nice.
Nah. Maj saying Boogeyman is calling out the Fiend. Rumors he's coming back and is in good shape. One thing about that dude, he's always in great shape. Jodie.
Oh my!
Even if it was just a face to face, even if it did nothing, what would you think about that?
I'd have nightmares. Because on one hand, you've got the Fiend, and I'm absolutely petrified of clowns. On the other hand, you've got Boogeyman, who has worms coming out of his mouth, and I really don't like bugs. So, I'd have nightmares.
I would love to see that interaction. Like, I know we've seen him and Bray before, but I want to see the Fiend.
They're just going to stare each other down.
Just stare each other down.
I mean, you're just going to be sitting there going, you can cut that tension with a butter knife.
Oh God, Chris, you're hilarious. Kevin says, thoughts on the rumor about Alexa's mask that started last week. I have not had a chance to talk to you about that yet.
I still just don't think she's going to end up with a mask. I just don't. I think she's definitely changing, but I feel like her expressions are so colorful that a mask would kind of take that away. I think her, facial expressions are so grandiose. That's what the word I was trying to look for. That, a mask would just hide that. And I think they can do way better things, not better things, but they can do it just as well with makeup. and still allow her to have those colorful facial expressions that everybody loves. That's part of the reason why we like Funhouse Bray, is because he has those funny facial expressions and you're laughing right along with him because he's goofy. But yeah, I just think it would serve better for her to not have one.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that she needs one. I kind of agree with you on that. You can look at it from a lot of different ways, but like you said, Jody, her facial expressions and everything that she emotes with her eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and just the look, you can't cover that up with a mask.
No.
I just don't think that needs to happen. Could it happen?
Yeah.
From a merch standpoint, because they want to sell more merch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at least 70 something people that would at least consider it, because they're all in our chat right now. So I honestly think that a lot of people would consider it. So absolutely. Now, Dave in real life is a man after my own heart here. Finn Balor loses to Karrion Kross, moves back to the main roster, and challenges The Fiend as the Demon King at SummerSlam. Your thoughts on that, Jody?
Shut up and take my money.
Right? Right?
I channeled my inner Alexa. Did you see that today?
I saw that. I would say that I channeled my inner Fiend, but this is probably what it looks like underneath all of it. So maybe I did channel my inner Fiend, maybe.
But yes, the Demon versus the Fiend. Shut up and take my money.
Right? That would be amazing. That would be really amazing. I mean, and again, if you're looking for,
you know what else was shut up and take my money that we've said, and we put that out in the universe so many times?
What's that?
The Fiend and Alexa Bliss versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
All right. I have to respond to that by saying, I don't know that my heart could take that much excitement right now. It may pop out of my chest. It could very well be the first stream in the history of YouTube where you see a grown man pass out, not from pain or anything like that, just sheer excitement.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, take all my money. It's all good. It's all good. Eric Travis saying, what about Willow versus Bray? That's another one that we've said in the past.
Yeah. I mean, you know that Jeff Hardy and Bray have had interactions in the past too. So again, shut up and take my money.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what if we got, and I know at this point we're fantasy booking, but next I want to go to the match at WrestleMania. Because, sometimes I feel like you write for WWE, so I want to get your thoughts on this. But what if after Mania we get Lashley and The Fiend?
Talk about a technical match right there. Like, you can't book that any better.
Like two big, huge, strong,
two big dudes that are both very technically sound in the ring.
Just saying. I know a lot of people are saying Brock. Maybe. But, however, I wouldn't necessarily rule out Lashley.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
They had some words on Twitter for sure.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just like to see it. I just like to see those. I'd like to see the Fiend no sell all of Bobby's offense. Like just Bobby, does his slam and everything like that. And that's exactly why I brought that up, Big Dan. It's honestly like Godzilla versus Kong. By the way, if you haven't watched that movie, it's really good. But yeah, I would just love to see that, because I feel like, Bray just getting up right after a slam from Lashley, him breaking the hurt lock, that kind of thing. I feel like that would just make him look so menacing in that. So we're at next Sunday right now, Jody. We've had night one. It was a great night one. Now we're at night two. And we get these guys. We get the Fiend and Randy. Where's this match at on the card on Sunday night? That's first.
I think it's in the later 2/3.
You think it's possible it could be a co-main event?
No.
You don't think it'll be that far into the card?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you think we get...
Because there's no way on night 2 that... Is it Roman on night 2 or night 1?
I believe it's night 2.
Yeah, so there's no way that that's not the main event. It's just this is Vince McMahon you're talking about. There's no way that Roman Reigns isn't main eventing WrestleMania. It's just how it's going to go. So I could see it be the next to last match, if maybe not the one right before that.
Okay.
Maybe one of the last 3 matches.
One of the last 3.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly the so we've got let's just go ahead and say that Edge, Roman, and Daniel are the main event on night 2.
Yep.
Could be the second to last, which would be the co-main, or the... So I got you. All right. Final prediction. What do you... Obviously, you can change this because we have a prediction show on Friday, but final prediction before Monday Night Raw. What do you think the stipulation is? Just your gut.
Some kind of last man standing, no DQ, something to that effect.
Okay. Do you think we get cinematic elements of this match?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cinematic elements.
To some extent, yes.
To some extent. So what does that look like to you? Like, what do you think that's going to be?
I think it'll be Alexa, the one involved with that. Maybe she is sitting ringside and she does something weird. Maybe you see a puppet pop up here and there. I don't know. Mildly cinematic elements.
Okay. The one thing that we didn't talk about, though, like before I jumped into where this was going to be and all that stuff. Well, maybe we're still here. Maybe I can save it a little bit. The entrance. What do you think? Like, obviously, we don't know all the details surrounding it. All we know is that we've heard
choreography.
It's got choreography, and this is going to be, according to some reports, one of the biggest entrances in WrestleMania history.
Oh,
that's according to some reports. So
I'm going to apologize in advance to anybody listening with earphones during that entrance, because I'm just going to be sitting here like, ugh. Yeah, obviously we've seen that, Instagram post that everybody's seen about, the choreographers coordinating this kind of choreographed element to this WrestleMania entrance. I think they are go big or go home with this one. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. And I think they're going to go absolutely balls to the wall. I think there's going to be choreography. I think Code Orange is going to play live. Maybe they change the song up a tiny bit, make it a little bit more grungier, a little darker, but it'll be the same song. Obviously, you're going to get fireworks out the wazoo. You know, don't be surprised if you see a monster truck or something really, really crazy out of Bray Wyatt, because I'm not going to cry. I know after having my video chat with him how much he misses the fans.
Yeah.
And he deserves a moment to just stand at the top of that walkway and completely absorb all of that. Because I cannot imagine what an amazing feeling that's going to be for him. It's WrestleMania. They're going balls to the wall with this entrance. I mean, if I were him, I'd just stand there for 5 minutes and just stand there and watch it and just drink it all in. Like, I know he is going to have an absolute blast.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they're going to go balls to the wall, because it's going to be, just be prepared to have your jaw on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you saw her
also, I think we should be prepared for Joe to not watch.
Ooh.
Because this is a demonic entity. You know, Alexa has hinted at that already. That, you know, the devil in the box, that's her fiend in the box. You know, is Alexa going to accompany him on his entrance? Is she going to be walking with him? Is she going to be part of the act? Is she going to be part of the choreography? Is she going to be walking down with her little box? Like, you know that there's choreography to this. And don't be surprised, because there were women in that picture, if you get some kind of choreography that revolves around these demonic, if you just get a bunch of demons doing these really weird, off-color, really dark, you know, women spider walking upside down, Joe, I'm sorry. Don't be surprised.
Joe, I'm sorry.
Don't be surprised.
But
Thank you, Jesse.
I'll be honest with you. I really want to see that happen. I'm sorry, Joe. I shouldn't say that out loud, especially when I know you're in the chat. But I really want to see that happen. Not just because I want to see your reaction to it live, so that I can go back and clip it and put it up as a reaction later. That's got nothing to do with it at all. I promise. Nothing to do with it at all. Maybe a little bit. Will Rally Sport Rally saying hi from UK. Love the stream. Massive Alexa Bliss fan. She's been doing amazing character work at the moment. It's nice with fans back. So can't wait.
Just said you can bite me. I'm trying to be a friend here and forewarn you that you may not be very happy with this entrance. You may see things that you don't like. I'm trying to be a good friend to forewarn you here, to prepare yourself.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what friends are for.
Right?
However,
we'll enjoy it.
However, it can go if that can go viral.
I'm surprised the Halloween Havoc one didn't go viral, to be honest with you.
If we were on camera, it would have, because I can only imagine what Joe was doing at the moment. I mean, Joe saying, with friends like these, you know the rest. Wrestling Lane, we kind of talked about this. Thank you for joining us. Just asking, what do you think we get tonight? And you kind of went over that, but
yeah, I think we're getting that stipulation on the match tonight. Yeah. We'll find out what it means, what they're gonna do, and then we can start theorizing about that.
That's it. That's right. That's right. And Michael, you have a really good birthday, because my son's birthday is the same day, April 29th. So that's a good day. Let's see. EJ Movement saying this man Bray gonna make demonic spells during his entrance and gonna go crazy.
I'm just saying, like, be prepared for this to be really, really dark.
I know people. There have been reports out there saying that they were forbidden to do anything with the cannons. I really hope that at some point they use something cinematic to shoot a cannonball at somebody in this match. Like,
Just because they said they can't do something with the cannons in real life doesn't mean that they won't do it in the graphic world.
Exactly, because it can be done.
Because it can be done.
It can be done. Just know it can be done. So I'd love to see like a cannonball just, I don't know, like get dodged Matrix style or something like that. I want to see the Fiend in the Matrix, just kind of doing the, just, or either just catching it and being like, oh, that was fun. Big Boy Dally saying he could put spells on other beings like Mania 31 with the scarecrows.
Yep, but they're going to be demons instead of scarecrows. Just, I love you, Joe, and that's why I'm telling you to be prepared.
Dave in Real Life says, does Randy Orton set a trap for the Fiend tonight and attacks Alexa?
It's very possible. Because we've got to have something. Obviously, I think we're going to get some kind of response from Randy about, this whole Alexa's Playground segment. And then, hey, I wouldn't mind a contract signing. We haven't had one of those since, was it Royal? No, it wasn't Royal Rumble. His match with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I'd love to see something crazy with that, like a signing by fire.
Ha! That'd be awesome.
I know. I'm kind of mad that I just thought about that because now I want to see it. Magic Banana says maybe he gives his soul to some sort of demon.
Mm-hmm. I'm prepared for this to be incredibly dark.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting some of those comments right now. Wrestling Lane saying, "What if we get the boat on fire with the Fiend in it?" Cool.
Yeah.
EJ Movement saying that there's going to be pentagrams and all over the Titantron. So, hey. I'd be all for it. So we kind of took a step back from the match because we got excited, but let's go back to the match on Sunday. Final moments of the match. What does our resident Abby think we get at the end of the match, and who comes out victorious?
I think the Fiend comes out victorious. And it'll look a lot like that first draw that he came back on. He'll just be standing towering over Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton will be on the ground. Victim to a mandible claw.
Ooh. I'm glad that you said that because that leads me to my next line of questioning. Obviously, we've already seen Randy take the mandible claw. So, do we start to see a change in one Mr. Randy Orton?
I actually think he disappears for a while. Plus, if you listen real closely to what Alexa said, she said very specifically that the legend killer dies.
Yep.
Say Randy Orton. She didn't say the Viper. She said the legend killer. So I think he disappears for a while and comes back as the Viper. It's not the legend killer anymore.
I like that. I like that. Could we see a more sadistic Randy Orton after all of this is said and done? Like,
Yes.
think he's going to get darker with his character?
Yes. Although Randy is one of those people that hasn't changed a whole lot. Over his career, and that's really worked for him. He's pretty much the same as he was, almost the same as he was, 10 years ago. Pretty much the same attire. He's gotten way more polished and, grown a lot as a wrestler, but he hasn't really changed his character a whole lot, and it's worked really well for him. So if he does change, I don't see a monumental change. I think it's just which heel he wants to go with.
Big Dan is asking, do you think we see Kyle's dark versions of the puppets during this match?
No. I think we may see those if we get a cinematic match later on. I think they would be perfect to fit into some kind of room of torture for Randy Orton.
Gotcha. Eric Travis, Bray beats Randy by the Undertaker's gong, and then at the end, Taker chokeslams the Fiend to start a SummerSlam feud.
I don't think he's coming back.
Can I just say, very unpopular opinion? I hope he doesn't, because I want to see the Fiend do something with someone else now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Raph saying this Fiend is going to be unlike anything we have ever seen. Unstoppable. Can you say heavyweight title?
Again, unpopular opinion. I hope not.
I was just gonna ask you, do you want to see him challenge whoever wins between Drew and Bobby? Do you want to see that? And I mean, you kind of just answered that.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, Bray Wyatt is a wrestler. And you can't be a fan of Bray Wyatt if you don't want him to have the belt. But you write yourself into a corner when you put a belt on him. And then he can't tell the story the way he wants to tell it because he becomes the hunted instead of the hunter. And we've said that lots and lots of times on this channel that as a fan, of course, I want to see Bray Wyatt with the belt. 100%. For the character, I don't think it makes sense. Unless he's going to go into some major feud with, I don't know, Roman Reigns and Roman gets it back. You know what I mean? Like, it just, unless you can work it out to the point that it fits into his story, I just don't think it makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to think about this too. Since we're in the same realm, let's think about this. People don't really remember Taker for the number of title reigns he had.
Right.
The Fiend is the same way. When we're talking about this character 10, 15 years from now, although most of us will still be pissed about a certain event that happened that we don't talk about here, we still won't be talking about how many times he had the belt.
Right.
We're talking about how innovative the character was, how it got us thinking about all these theories and all of these different things. And it's just like, again, if you're a wrestling company, especially WWE, how do you take a belt off of someone like The Undertaker or like The Fiend and it not look completely ridiculous? Because if you think about it, The Fiend has turned from being burned alive. Okay. Yeah. So how in the HE double hockey sticks should anybody be able to come in and beat him straight up at all?
Right.
that shouldn't happen. So, so you have to think about those things. I just don't think that a character like this needs a title.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just my 2 cents there.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin saying, since Demonic Randy said you will come face to face with everything you did, could we see past legends killing the legend killer full circle?
I wouldn't mind that. But I think her saying you'll come face to face with everything you did, it's very similar to what happened with John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that means that, we're going to see the Wyatt compound. We're going to see Abigail. We're going to see all the things that Randy did when Bray was Bray. And obviously we've seen as well, this goes all the way back to Husky Harris.
Yes, it does.
So it's going to go way back.
Do you think we get like I know you said we get cinematic elements. Do you think we get flashbacks and that's your cinematic element? Like as
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think with this being the first time that they have fans back, they're going to be very careful with their cinematic elements because they want the fans to experience everything. So yeah, I definitely think, we could get some kind of flashback or kind of like cult leader Bray used to be with his flashes on the screen. I think we could definitely see things like that.
That's true. All right. Now I gotta hear this from you because you talked about it a little bit earlier. Your thoughts on the pop that you think he will get when he makes his entrance?
I think it will be enough to make Bray Wyatt the Man tear up. You're going to see a whole lot of flashlights, a whole lot of cell phone lights, and the roar will be deafening. And I think it will be enough to make a grown man cry. It might make me cry just watching it on television because I know how much the fans mean to him and how much he's missed that. I'm sure all of them have missed it, but he told me himself that he missed it. So I just...
Yeah. I mean, as a wrestler, the reason you do it is for the crowd reaction, for the pop. And I can't even imagine wrestling shows with 0 fans in attendance live.
Mm-hmm.
Only seeing the fans virtually. Like I can't imagine that. And I've wrestled in front of 5 people before. That's not an exaggeration. That is a true story. There were 5 people there. 5.
Mm-hmm.
And even then I was still like, you still want those people 5 to interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what lets you know what you're doing is going over with them, but it also lets you know how to proceed with the rest of your match. And I honestly think that it might get me a little teary-eyed too, because I mean, we all love him so much and what he brings to the table that, I mean.
Do you remember when he won the belt at Crown Jewel?
Oh, yeah.
And he got so emotional, he almost broke character.
Yep, and he had to do
Yeah, he was like, no, but he almost broke character. I think this is going to be a very similar emotion from him. And I don't know, he may have preempted that and just say, hey, don't put the camera on my face.
Right.
Because I'm going to have a hard time not getting really emotional that there are fans back in the building and they're excited and,
I can't wait.
I will probably shed a tear because I know how much that moment's going to mean to him.
I can't wait because, again, just listening to what he said to you in the video, you could tell. I mean, you could genuinely tell that he really misses the fans. And Randy, what's your question? It's just I can't wait. Randy says, Jeff and Jody, I love the Bray Alexa versus Fiend. I mean, Bray Alexa versus Randy feud, but the belt doesn't make you the man. The man makes you the champion. Mr. Mike Tyson saying for Bray, he doesn't need the belt. The character is gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. You don't. I don't feel like you need to put that on him right now.
I think that's part of the reason why I don't feel like the match is going to main event, because his entrance is going to steal the night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Roman's is going to be exciting because it always is. It's WrestleMania. There's going to be lots of fireworks. There's going to be lots of pyro. But this entrance will steal the night.
Simply put, that's it. It's going to steal the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the entrance is going to be something that people that are not hardcore wrestling fans that will be watching on Peacock will be like, oh my God, I have to start watching wrestling now because that was awesome. I think it's really going to draw people into wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the only person that will get as much of a pop as the Fiend is going to get is going to be Daniel Bryan with his yes movement. Obviously, that's going to be massive. But Bray, I mean, his entrance is going to steal the night.
absolutely. Wrestling Lang saying, I will cry. It's probably going to be us too. Just saying. Joe's going to be crying, but for completely different reasons.
Joe's going to be hiding.
He's going to be hiding. Firefly Revolution saying Drew McIntyre is going to get a bigger pop.
I mean, obviously, this is the first time that fans are back. Everybody's going to get a big pop. Everybody.
Yeah.
Because the fans are just going to be so excited to be at a wrestling event. Who's not going to be, who wouldn't be excited for that? So everybody's going to get a big pop. But, you've got some big ones in there that are just going to.
That's it. All right, folks. Well, it's about that time. We're going to head out of here. Jody, anything you want to share or say before we get going?
I just want to say, in the event that you actually watch this before Sunday, please enjoy that moment, Bray. You've earned it. You deserve it. We will be emotional right along there with you. We love you. Have a wonderful time at WrestleMania. We are behind you 1,000%, and we love you.
Well said. Well said. All right, folks. You know the drill. If you can, drop us a like. Give us a like on this video. Helps us out, helps us get seen. And if you're new, which, I mean, my goodness, we had over 80 people in the chat at one point. So thank you all for joining. If you're new, give us a subscribe, please. We'd greatly appreciate it. And you can turn on your notifications because this week it is going to be crazy. So you're going to get notified a lot every time that we're on, which is going to be the rest of the week, plus next Monday and probably next Tuesday. So, you're going to get a lot of notifications from the insiders. We will be here streaming everything. And listen, we cannot wait. We cannot wait for WrestleMania. But first, we gotta watch Raw, and that's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So, folks, thank you for joining us. Stay safe and enjoy Raw tonight. And we'll talk to you soon.